We got some spoilers. Are you guys ready for some spoilers?
Is it?
Let's get into last week's spoilers. Our planning phase Galactic Gazette. This is our news and spoilers preview segment. No, we didn't preview all these cards. It would be amazing if we had gotten the leaders, but we did not from FFG. But these leaders are crazy. There's two of them that we're going to cover tonight that I'm just like super stoked for. One I'm a little stoked for, and one JJ called and is correct, and that's about as much as I could say for her. I have no good words about that, other than she might be good in draft. But yeah, we have lots of spoilers, and we're so excited to be able to bring you and talk a little bit about these. We don't just say, "Hey, here's the card." We talk a little bit about strategy, whether we think the card is good or not, and all those fun, fancy things. So, who wants to kick it off tonight? We let JJ. Do you want the honors of revealing the Thrawn leader?
Yes, I absolutely do. Yeah, so we got the return of Grand Admiral Thrawn. It looks like he's still young in this picture. This is not the Ahsoka Thrawn that got a little pudgy. So this is the good Thrawn here. So he reads Imperial and Official, and he reads, when you use a when defeated ability, you may exhaust this leader. If you do, use that ability again. He deploys on 6 resources as 4/7. And his ability reads, when user when defeated ability, you may use that ability again. Use this ability only once each round. So it still has the same constraints. You're not able to use that when defeated over and over and over again in the same round, which is okay. But this absolutely is going to be very, very relevant. I mean, there's so many cards already that provide extra benefits for when you defeat units. I'm thinking IG-11, dealing 3 damage to a unit when you defeat him. Now you're doing 6 damage. That's very good. You're able to also use a lot of the last wave Twilight of the Republic things that help generate clone trooper tokens, or even battle droid tokens, or even with this current wave that's coming in, stuff that helps generate X-wing tokens or TIE fighter tokens. Being able to duplicate that, just creating more and more units for you to control, to eventually use exploit mechanics on as well. This is really great. Thrawn is going to have a lot of different uses. I just hope that we get a TIE Defender unit to go along with it, because it's very, very on theme for him. But yeah, I'm excited to play this Thrawn for sure.
Hey, don't forget about a little set 1 card called Admiral Mahdi, and just ready 2 villain cards.
Yeah, that's so good. Yeah.
And it's neutral. You could play it in every Thrawn deck now.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, it's really cool. I mean, like, the stats are a 4/7 stat line on a 6 is pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
And he's Imperial, so you get like Imperial synergies if you have those as well, which is pretty cool. You play a TIE Advance, and now he's a 6/9, which is kind of annoying.
Yeah, and so I will be going through and doing a video on all the when defeated cards, kind of like what I did with Django. I actually think so. I'm a little biased, I guess. I guess we'll just have to say I'm a little biased. If you haven't checked out, I did a Thrawn deck tech on my yellow Thrawn deck that I've been playing and having decent success with. And I had some guy go, "Nobody cares about this. You should just record one of the new one." I was like, "Well, I will, but he's not out yet." And I bet you there's probably at least another handful of cards that are going to go along.
I'm sure there's so many more that have when defeated effects.
And it's just going to work with him. And so, like, I don't want to get too early into it and do it, but I have already started the research. I have a document created, and I've already started going through and like categorizing each of the when defeated ones. I will say they did clarify that you cannot use when defeated from bounties. But so you can't just put he's not like a boss. He's not like a better boss. Like, could you imagine if you could just top target something and there's 12 damage you just healed? Like, that'd be awful. Like, just crazy.
Yeah.
What is really cool though is there's not too much downside to running Val, because like you could just double experience someone, give them 4, and then take the 3 damage into the unit. So like you know,
You still live.
you still live. Not
Do
a
they
lot of
get-
downside. And
Do
it's
they
in
get to
it's in
do
color.
the 3 damage twice though?
Nope, because it's a bounty, and it's also your opponent.
Oh, dude, that's dirty. Holy
Uh-huh.
crap. I didn't even think about that. She wasn't on my list because I thought all of her stuff was a bounty, but you're right, it's separated, isn't it?
Yep.
Oh
Pretty
man.
good.
Yeah, it's really, really fun. Also,
Ugh.
just like, hitting stuff like Raiders, right? The Ruthless Raiders, and they just do 4 to base now and 4 somewhere else.
Yeah, we
Oh.
haven't had a really good villain blue red deck that's like outside of boss blue. That's all hard control. I think this deck is not going to be a hard control deck. This is going to be like a mid-range soft control deck at most. And it's going to take my love away from Palpatine. All right. Well, I'll cover the very underwhelming leader. She has resistance though. I am excited that we got like a resistance leader. I do like that. I do like Rose in the movies. I just all right. She comes out on 5. Her action is to heal 2 damage from a vehicle unit that attacked this phase, but it's also heal 2 damage as a separate action. So it's not like a when you do damage, heal 2 damage before dealing combat damage. Nothing. It's just you got to spend an action to heal it. When she flips, she is a 4/6, which is actually pretty good for a 5 resource leader. Like that's actually like the stat line itself is actually really good.
It's boss stats.
Yeah. But her on attack, you may heal 2 damage from a vehicle unit. That's a lot better because that's like she just has to attack. So that like works out so much better. You could kind of buff her up a little bit. She is not a pilot, I guess. And
I mean, the one thing she piloted, didn't she like crash it in?
yeah, she did. Yeah. But still, come on. I mean,
it was her sister that was the pilot.
Yeah. But anyway, so it's kind of cool. I'm happy we get her. I wish it had like a mechanic trait or something like that we could like maybe use in a future set. But I'm not very like I don't know. Like I think her leader side is great. It's a 4/6. I think it'll be like this is a common, so this will be a good draft material in my opinion. But I don't see this. I personally don't see this seeing a lot of premier play. Personally,
Well, it depends on how good the vehicles are, right?
I guess
I mean, there's a lot of vehicles coming out in this set, so I don't think she'll be particularly bad. I mean, her normal leader size is a little bit rough because it has to be like that already attacked, but I guess it does incentivize you to, I don't know.
So
like,
I mean,
swing into units, but it's also crazy with Obi-Wan's Aethers, right?
yeah. I was gonna say that Obi-Wan's this right. The other thing I was gonna say is like vehicles that have overwhelm, right? You're throwing them into weaker units, and then you can use her ability to heal those units as well. That's a pretty decent way to take advantage of her ability. The only problem is that at least for the vehicle side, there's not too many vehicles that have that requirement on there.
Not in Hero, no.
Yeah, so it's a little rough there. I mean, we might see a little more once more cards get out. I mean, she can also potentially benefit a couple of Sentinel units there that can go out and attack, and then just heal that Sentinel unit so that way it still has a decent amount of health. But again, it's gonna go down in the fodder bin along with Finn, unfortunately. So.
Maybe, man. Just sometimes if they print off a lot of like really good vehicles that like are really nice that they heal. I mean, pilots go in vehicles, right? So they're gonna get extra attack and health, and you can just start healing those, which seems pretty strong. I am the craziest thing to me is that you called Rose Tico being a leader in this set.
Yeah.
Absolutely
I don't know how you did that.
Why Rose should ever be a leader in general, let alone like also this set. Unreal. This is crazy to me.
I know we got her before Tally, right?
Yeah, we got her before like so many other like characters.
All right, well, let's keep moving. Which one do you want, Alex?
I guess I'll take Rio Durant, who is from a movie that I didn't see, the only Star Wars movie I didn't get around to watching.
Han Solo movie.
Yeah, that one. So it is a yellow villainy leader. He is a underworld and a pilot. So when he deploys on 5, he is a 3/5 stat line with Saboteur, or the attached unit becomes a leader unit, like you do with leader pilots, and they gain Saboteur. And if it's a transport, it also gets +1/+0, and he gives them a +3/+5 as well, which is really big.
Yep.
Yeah. So his leader ability is an action, spend a resource and exhaust him. Attack with a space unit, it gets +1/+0, and Saboteur for this attack. Which seems really, really good. Especially because he's a yellow villainy, and they have access to things like Triple Dark Raid.
Yep.
Yeah. Like, it just seems like there's a lot of really good things you can do, especially with Saboteur, especially in yellow. So you can rush in space pretty hard.
Yep. This feels better. Like, I don't have to tap you down anymore. I'm just going to screw everybody over and get past every sentinel imaginable.
Nice trade blockade, guys. Way to go.
Yeah. So
also like the +3/+5 on a vehicle for 5 resources. Like your 5 leader deployment seems pretty big, especially when it gets Saboteur. There's a bunch of like solid transports too. In general. But like especially yellow, I mean you got your YVs or whatever. But you also have like if you're going to blue, you get like the gauntlets. If you're going to red, you get like the punishing one, I guess. But just Fet's fire spray. That's yellow. That's a transport.
yeah.
Just imagine that getting an extra attack and Saboteur, and +3/+5 to its stat line. So it's an 8/11. That can also tap down your generic units and has Saboteur, and one plate comes in ready if you have Boba Fett. I don't see anything wrong with that.
Nope. I actually like I almost feel the leader is a little bit. This is like a new aggro tempo leader that I think is going to be there. So
the guaranteed +1/+0 and Saboteur is nice, but also you have to see how much people are going to go into space in this set, right? Because if everyone's playing a bunch of heavy space units, sure you get around at Sentinel, but like your ships are going to die pretty fast.
Yep. Oh. All right, let's move on to Admiral Holdo. JJ.
I'm surprised they didn't name her Vice Admiral because that was her actual title during the movie, but whatever. So she reads Resistance Official. As an action, spend 1 resource, give 1 resistant unit or a unit with a resistance upgrade a +2/+2 for this phase. She deploys on 6, and she is a 3 attack, 3 or 8 health unit, and it reads on attack, you may give another resistance unit or unit with a resistance upgrade a +2/+2 for this phase. Pretty decent. We are going to get quite a few more resistance units out on the both on ground and on space. So it's going to be really good to have that extra buff there for resistance decks. Probably will get better with time as we get more and more units out there. But for the time being, probably going to be pretty good as a probably as an aggressive style list, especially with her ability to do on attack. If you're able to do like a surprise strike with her and then ready her again with like a different card or ability, like keep fighting, for instance, you can really end up buffing units really well. And you can potentially buff the same unit twice, making it a 4/4 buff. So that there's definitely some really good uses there for that. So, but yeah,
you cannot buff it twice. You exhaust her.
You can with the leader and then flip
with the leader. That's what I meant.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, with the leader. Yeah.
Remember how like Wat Tambor you had to actually like lose a unit to give something +2/+2?
Yes. Now
This
you just
one is
spend money.
just spend a resource. I do appreciate how they specify resistance upgrade too, because you don't get the traits off the upgrades. So like if you throw in like R2D2 or BB-8 or something or whatever pilot into something, they're eligible for the upgrade, the buff. And also like +2/+2 is really big.
Yeah.
For just like one resource. Like if you have lower to the curve cards, like that can stack up pretty big.
Yeah, especially if you're able to spam them out and your opponent has to pick which one they want to kill now. Like, it's a great way to spend resource. I personally think this is going to be nuts in red, specifically.
To make the Poe an 8/8.
Yeah, I mean, and the you know, like normally I would say anything that you have to spend an action to do something for drives me nuts. Like the Watt, that's why I don't like Watt as much, is because it's like if you don't have a big board presence. But I mean, in fairness, you're giving it a +2/+2, so you're now putting a Poe the next turn it comes out at a 8/8. You see medium. And like, yeah, okay, can you kill an 8/8? Like, that's bigger than Luke. Like, Luke's a 6/7. This is an 8/8.
And
I
she
don't
hates them.
Yeah, that's true. But so like I actually think I don't know how good this will be in other colors, but I think in red, like I would easily say that this is going to be a very, very good deck. And I'm a little bit scared of some of the stuff that it can do. And we haven't even gotten all the ships yet, so there's more ships to come.
Blue might not be like particularly rough. I mean, we're still releasing cards, obviously, but you do have like Ray and Rose, which are resistance members as well. So if you manage to like do weird shield shenanigans with the Rose unit, you can just make them huge. But also Ray, just like giving Ray +2/+2, and then just swinging, and then also healing 2. Make her, like a 6/9 for 5 that heals and gives out shields is really nice.
Yep. So I like it. I think Holdo's one of the top ones. We'll do when they release all the leaders. We'll do a leader ranking too, but I would wager to put her up there. The next is some rare bases, which I don't know. Okay. On one hand, I like seeing rare bases, like seeing new bases to give new mechanics to the game. On the other hand, if I get 17 of these effing things instead of the regular rares, I literally have set 1 couldn't get a rare base half the time. I didn't even have the shield one, whatever the blue shield one nobody uses.
Complex.
Yeah, I didn't even have that until 2 months in. Not that I ever played it after that, but I don't like these things being in the rare spots. I wish it would just be like a spare extra card they put in a pack,
or replace the base that comes in the pack.
Yes, or that. Thank you. I like that so much better. But what I will say is these two look pretty good, and a 35 health base called Colossus, which is neutral, is crazy, right? And you draw 1 less card in your starting hand. That's it. That's the only downside, is you get 5 extra health.
Yep.
Pelt Blue, hey baby.
Or Yoda.
Or Yoda?
Mono blue Yoda, who just always draws cards anyways. Any mono blue hero deck with Queel is just gonna be like, oh, okay.
Yep, thank you.
Crisis averted. I have 5 extra health. Try to get through that.
Yeah. Or Ray doesn't care either, because half the time Ray puts a lower cost unit down and then buffs it anyway. So she's got extra cards for the most part, because she's not playing all of the cards all of the time compared to some of these other decks. So this is nuts. This is a crazy base. I guess it's only 5 extra health, but I mean
that's a big difference though.
Any hard control villainy likes it too. So it's nice.
Yeah.
I think it's really good. I also think the other one's really super cool too.
Yep.
The thermal oscillator is a red base with 27 health, and your minimum deck size is decreased by 5 cards. So now you're down to 45 cards, which massively increases your consistency for deck building.
Yep.
For 3 health. Wild.
Yeah.
There is a calculator going around. I can't remember if I sent it to you guys or not. But there was like a magic calculator that you could kind of go in and like look at your odds of it.
Geometric calculator, I think is what they're usually called.
Yeah. And you could go look at your odds, and I would challenge people to do that because I heard people like complaining about this, and it's like, no. This is if this was a 25 base health, I would be a little bit more concerned. But like at 27, like okay, whatever, like oh no, 3 health, like I think I'm okay with that to have like a shitload of consistency in an aggro deck. Like, and I hope this deck does a little bit more. It takes over that ECL slot. Like this is a conversation piece. Could you just move to timelies and run timelies in this base and have this insane consistency with like, I don't know, I guess Sabine really, well, I don't know, Red Sabine might be a thing next set because of this.
Yeah, I mean like 10% less health for 10% less cards in your deck, right?
Mm-hmm.
It seems very good for very specific aggro kind of stuff. Like anything that like really needs consistency. Like if you're running like a Steal a Guerrera thing, right, where you do 7 cards and you need to get your tactics cards in there, you're going to have a much higher chance of getting tactic cards if your deck is 5 less, and you can put more of them in there, or like a higher concentration. Yeah. Just don't get milled out.
Yeah. I think this works very well for Kylo too. Like this is a great Kylo double red like deck. Like I think this works very, very well because you can now, you don't have to put like all your low cost units and you could put the specific ones that benefit you, and that's it. And you don't have to worry about seeing, oh no, I accidentally drew, I don't know what you, Death Star Trooper, and I don't want that, anymore. Like you probably still play that, but whatever. You know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah, like very specific aggro style decks. Yeah.
I like it.
I like those both the design spaces of those.
Yeah.
But also like thinking about Colossus, right, where you have 5 extra health for 1 less starting card hand. Like if you did the opposite, I don't think it would be worth it, right? Like 25 cards and you start with 7 cards in your hand instead of 6.
I don't think so.
Yeah, just because of the nature of this game, where it's just like, well, you're not Magic, you don't get like mana screwed or whatever, right? So it's kind of weird. I like them. They're cool.
Yeah, I don't know if you play 25 health and have one. I don't know. Like 1 extra card doesn't feel
super consequential in this game.
Yeah, like and so like I think the big difference though with something like this, Alex, if we had a bunch of cards that we could play for free, I think that would be a difference. Like, okay, give me 7 cards and now I've got like all these 0 cost ones, like, I mean, I guess a boss could utilize something like that if you drew correctly, with some of the bounties, but like in the long run of things, you're like, there's very few 0 cost cards in this game that are really that good to play. Yeah. So, yeah, I agree with you. I don't think it would be beneficial. So, except for maybe Pre-Vizsla. Pre-Vizsla would like it. There you go. There's a deck idea for Pre-Vizsla. Pre-Vizsla would love that. That's tailored to him. We're not going to go through these, but these are just kind of up here. If you haven't seen them, these are the deck lists for they're not starter decks, they're spotlight decks. You can see some of the like duplicates. It's kind of hilarious to only see like 2 Greedos in that Han deck. Like, what did he kill the 3rd one? I'm sorry. But it's kind of cool. Like you can see the cartel turncoats are in there. You got some Wolfpack squadrons. You got 1 Hu Yang, just one Hu Yang and 1 Akbar.
Sadly, man, they want the one-offs, man. They want it. I'm telling you.
But the one I'm excited for is that Mandalorian, which we'll get to in just a minute. For that field. So anyway, you could look through these. They actually even tell you which ones are from previous sets. So The sad thing is you are going to need to buy these if you want that. They did not answer my question on screen. I asked them, like, so for example, you see this IG 200 or 2000. Like, I want to know, is that going to come in the standard set? Or is it, I'm assuming it is because it's an R.
It's a rare that comes in the set.
Okay.
They have asterisks next to the numbers for cards from previous sets.
I see. So you can see here, at least at minimum, any of the special cards you're getting 3 of, which is what you need. Because that was my concern is what can you tell us what's going to be the OP packs before the OP packs come out? Like, I want to know like which ones I'm getting, for that. And I guess some of it probably doesn't matter because you're getting 3 of them. So I'll probably buy both of these. The sad thing is I'm not going to want to tear them apart. I'm just going to want to keep them together to like play with new players. But
sounds like you just buy 2.
I know. I'm poor. I'm very poor now. All right. I get to reveal, since JJ revealed Thrawn, I get to reveal ship, the new Chimera. This is a 6-cost Imperial vehicle capital ship that is a 5/6 villain blue. It is, when played, you may use a when defeated ability on any other friendly unit. And then Thrawn, you have this one says, when defeated, create 2 TIE fighter tokens, which I'm a little sad that it's not like a squadron of TIE fighters. Like, give me 5 of them, but, that's probably broken.
6 cost? Yeah, you can double trigger off Thrawn.
But I will say I like this capital ship a lot, actually. I'm very happy. You can see the Thrawn underneath you can actually see it underneath the ship itself. You can see his symbol, which, by the way, I have X-Wing templates if anybody wants to buy them. I have X-Wing templates that are Thrawn templates, so they're really cool. I am very excited for this ship. I guess if you're playing Thrawn, I feel like this is just an auto include in it. I like that it's a 6 cost, so it's like one of the cheaper capital ships. So you could even play this with like Piet. Like you could play a blue-green Piet deck, and this now comes out at 5. So like this comes out, and its stat line is a fire spray stat line that can come out at 5 with Piet. So,
and if you have Inferno 4 out, you could look at the top 2 cards of your deck.
That's true. That's true. That's very true.
It's another friendly unit, right? So like.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't even have to be like space. But what's in there? Like the Magna Guard droids, right? No, that wouldn't work. Never mind. That's when something else is destroyed. That would have been funny. Give it Sentinel. But I'll take the next one. It's Director Krennic. He's a 2-cost blue villainy. He's a 2/2 Imperial official. He's shielded, and the first unit you play each round that has a when defeated ability cost 1 less. Like the Chimera.
Which is hilarious, by the way. This is hilarious because Krennic and Thrawn are enemies. So he's supporting Thrawn, which is insanely crazy. Hilarious. Like, why, FFG, are you not talking about the lore of Star Wars on your streams? You missed it. This is a perfect opportunity to talk about this. This is great lore right here. Sorry.
I
know you don't know.
When do they interact? It's not in Rogue One.
In the books.
In the books.
Oh, okay.
In the Thrawn books, which are really good. You can listen to the audiobooks. They're very good. I'm telling you, the Thrawn books are hands down some of the best Star Wars material we've ever got. Period.
Yeah. Agreed.
Like, we could be a show for Disney right now. Disney, I will get me some Thrawn gear. Give me a Thrawn outfit. I'll effing wear that shit up on stream.
I have dyed my skin blue before. I can do it again.
All right, you should. Yeah, but you gotta shave your beard though, man. You're gonna have to be beardless. It'll be weird.
See, I use food coloring, so I just turn my beard blue too.
Oh. All right. Anyway, I think this character is very silly. Like, it's a 2/2, but I think it'll see play in a Thrawn deck, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, it works really well for that kind of stuff. Yeah. Shockingly not good in a Krennic deck.
No,
despite being Krennic.
No, do damage to it, it just dies, and it's shielded, so it can't take the damage right away. Yeah.
Apparently, he's not standing amongst his crowning achievement.
Right.
Oh my God.
He's on the verge of greatness. JJ, go over the next card. I think that's Krennic Shuttle, right?
Yeah, that's the Krennic shuttle. So this is the shuttle ST-149, which is interesting. That has a designation ST on it. But anyway, it comes with 3 attack, 4 health. It's an Imperial vehicle and transport, and comes shielded. And it says, when played or when defeated, you may take control of a token upgrade on a unit and attach it to a different eligible unit. Really good way to harass Rey with her upgrade, her experience tokens, or any shield tokens from another unit, and just bring it over to your own side.
Or itself,
really nice way
JJ.
to do it and get it double shielded.
Or you can take the shield that you just put on it and put it somewhere else.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
which is really nice.
Like Krennic. So yeah, definitely something that will be very, very handy in a Thrawn deck. Yeah, even by itself, it's still really, really good. I would absolutely love to see this played along with the leader that we just saw, Durant. Although I think it's out of aspect for it, but just being able to put a shield on. Oh, it's not out of aspect.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
It's just straight villainy.
This would definitely help out with the Saboteur bit, right? You're able to go in, take out an enemy shield and deal damage to it, and you take no damage back, right? If you give it that Saboteur on there, just a really great vessel for that to go into that deck there, and yeah, do some great work.
Is there an X-Wing upgrade that does something similar to that?
Not that I know of, no.
Okay. Because that would be hilarious. I've been going back and going through X-Wing upgrades to see how they relate to these factors.
Yeah, right.
Okay, up next.
Hold on. I'm not done. Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm very excited. I'm actually really excited about this card. Like, just so you like you know what this can do. As long as you have another ground unit out, you know what happens. They go ahead and play your effing Darksabers. This is like a 4 cost
token upgrade. It doesn't steal those.
Oh,
yeah.
Damn it.
Experience.
All right, never mind. I'm less excited.
That's why I'm just like, what is more to talk about? The fact that it's like a transport, so it gets the +1. Like,
no. All right, let's move on. Keep going.
Nope, can't just cycle a Darksaber through your unit.
All right. Anyway, there is a card that does that though.
Yeah,
but not a Darksaber because it's a 4 cost.
Yeah,
no, you can use Survivor's Gauntlet.
All right,
but you know, yes. Anyways, next ship, actually, go for it.
All right, it's a landing shuttle. It's an Imperial vehicle transport. It's a 2/4/3 neutral blue. When defeated, you may draw a card. It's okay. It's cool. I think it'll be decent in. I don't know. Maybe a Thrawn deck. Maybe.
Draw 2 off of it.
Yeah, you get 2 cards out of it. You know, I think it's kind of okay in a Pelp deck to be able to. You could kind of do the same thing because you can Pelp it and
draw 2
and draw 2, and it's a space unit, so you can use it in space to like go after things.
I mean, if you're running the Colossus base and you need to card draw, I mean, there you go.
It's actually also not like terrible in like Rey. I'm not sure if you'd run it in Rey, but like you can buff it to like a 3/5 if you're doing some sort of weird chaos draft kind of thing.
Yeah. So I think it's like I said, I think it's like an okay thing. I don't think it's like my favorite card, but I think it's a decent
it's a
card for what it is. So I like the card and I like the ship in X-Wing.
Speaking of just random ships from X-Wing, up next we have the Onyx Squadron Brute, like the TIE Heavy.
Yep.
It is a 2 cost blue villainy. It's a 2/3 Imperial vehicle and fighter. When defeated, heal 2 damage from a base, which I think is just good in general, right? It's a 2/3 for 2 in space that heals you when it kills something or dies. You know, you can Palp it, you can Thrawn and heal more. Who knows?
Yeah, yep. It's native heal, baby. It's a top target without having to do a bounty.
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool.
I like it. Yeah, I think it's silly that it's a 2/3 2 cost though, right? Like we can admit that a TIE Heavy would not be this small ship. Like let's just admit that. I think they mixed up and didn't understand what a TIE Heavy was. I'm also hoping I'm also hoping to pilot Han Solo in one of these. This is an FYI. That is a goal of mine.
Was that a thing from the movie that I didn't watch? So I don't know actually if it was a thing from a movie or not.
I said the movie. Is it JJ? It's the
What, the Thai Brute?
yeah. He's
It's the Han Solo movie.
Okay, it is in the movie. Okay.
Yes, when they're doing the Kessel Run. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, JJ, you got the Roomba.
Yep, we got the 3 droid missile platform here. It is just a red aspect here. Comes with 4 attack and 2 health, which is great stat line for three cost. And it reads, when defeated, deal 3 indirect damage to a player. I mean, this is I mean, if you're planning to do a Thrawn red, and I feel like we're just going straight back to Thrawn.
Well, a lot of these were revealed with Thrawn, right? That's why they had the when defeated.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we're gonna get a very good Clone Wars Thrawn deck. Honestly, it's gonna be great. But yeah, being able to deal 3 direct damage to a player, which is really, really great, especially if you're able to wipe out your opponent's board early. This is going straight to opponent's base. It's really strong. It's gonna be you almost automatically just want to put 3 ofs in your deck. Like, why not, right? It's really good.
It's the multi-missile pods is what it is, baby.
It is worth noting that it is a droid, so you can give it Sentinel with Grievous.
Yep.
And it's Separatist. And a transport.
Yep. And with the Devastator, the Red Devastator they revealed, you can just assign that 3 indirect damage yourself.
Yep.
Or if you have Thrawn, it's 6. Straight to the base, probably. We'll see. So it's pretty cool. It's fun to get HMB over here.
Yep. All right. Let's go. What's next, Alex? I think you're up.
Yeah, we got my boy Boshek. haven't heard that name in a while. But he was wild in X-Wing. It was really fun. It just lets you, like, when you bump into people, you just change their dials. It's crazy.
Yeah, that sounds broken.
It was first edition, so it was.
Okay.
But no one played him because he wasn't broken enough. Anyway, so you get Boshek, the guy that they should have gotten instead of Han Solo, the one they originally went for. He is a 3/4 for 3, just neutral yellow. He is a fringe pilot, so he does have piloting. He pilots for 2. And when played as an upgrade, you discard 2 cards from your deck and return each of those cards with an odd cost to your hand, which works really well for Han Solo. And as an upgrade, he gives +1/+2. So, I mean, when you're building a Han Solo odd deck, you just draw 2. And I guess way down the line, if they ever have a random effect, like if this is sent from the deck to the discard pile, do X. I guess there's design space for that.
I mean,
it could go with Afra, right?
You can go with the silencer.
You pair this up with C-3PO, right? And you just make a deck of all 3s. There you go.
Yeah. You put in the 3 and 3 C-3PO, who costs 2.
All right. The next one is R2-D2, and you have to say R2 because that's the subtext. So it's R2. Like what? Like who got stoned and did this one? But this is the R2-D2. He costs 0 if you put him attached to a unit as a pilot. This upgrade can be played on a friendly vehicle with a pilot with another pilot on it, so you could put him in the new Millennium Falcon, which seems pretty good. He gives +1/+1 to it. Attached unit gains, you may play or deploy 1 additional pilot on this unit, so like you can just like ultra stack them.
Yeah, I think they're both written that way, so like it works how you want it, where you can attach him to something with a pilot or attach another pilot to whatever he's in. That's just basically what that text means.
Yeah. So I think it's neat. I like seeing it. It's cool. We have an R2-D2 pilot. It would be cooler if he got his specific ship back. Give me a R2D2 and a Y-wing. So
I think that was only for X-Wing.
I know it's only for X-wing, but it's still hilarious. So
I just want like the episode 1 3PO, without all his armor, where he says they'll never get me on the ship, and then put him as a pilot.
C-3PO.
Yeah.
Well, JJ, you got the really cool one.
Yeah, I gotta say I love the art for this, and I gotta give props to FFG. They've been improving the art for all these cards with every new wave, and this is just a hell of a artwork that they put on for this TIE bomber here. So it's a 2-cost TIE bomber with 0 attack and 4 health. It reads Imperial Vehicle and Fighter, and it reads on attack deal 3 indirect damage to the defending player. I mean, it's pretty decent. Kind of feels like the dark side version of the Gray Squadron Y-Wing that the light side has. Can be buffed if you really want to, but I mean, to be honest, it kind of feels like they should have at least had 1 attack for this, and maybe 2 indirect damage, because the TIE bombers do have, ordnance and lasers that they can shoot out the front.
Drop a bomb. And
yeah.
They're not
I mean, they
directly.
really went for the bombing thing, right? But yeah, pretty decent card to have early on. I mean, for an early play for 2 costs and you're dealing 3 indirect damage, pretty good for what it can do.
Seems very interesting in something like a GI deck.
Yep.
Right, where it's just like attack, deal 3 indirect damage, ready them up, do 3 more indirect damage.
Mm-hmm.
Seems pretty nasty.
Oh yeah,
and also, I mean, just put pilots in there or whatever. Like they did that on the stream. They throw like IG-88 or whatever in there, and you're just like, oh, now it's actually hurting me more. That's bad. But speaking of IG-88, look at that accidental transition. So IG-88, he got a unit this time. He's a 4/5, which is directly opposite of his leader. That's a 5/4. But he's a 4/5 for 5, a red villainy. He's also pilots, but his normal thing is when an enemy unit is damaged, this unit gets +3/+0. So if there's any enemy unit that's damaged, you drop him out. It needs a 7/5 for 5, which is terrifying, and you can also ECL him out. But he's also a pilot, so piloting only costs 2 red and villainy, and the attached unit gains. While an enemy unit is damaged, this unit gets +3/+0. And it gives the piloting upgrade of +0/+3. So if something's damaged, he's a +3/+3 upgrade. When they're not, you got 3 extra health. It's probably why you put him in a bomber, right? So you at least do something, and that really forces the damage on base. But he seems pretty nasty. He's kind of cool. I like it.
He's like the one you don't want to deal with, right? Like I don't know. Like you have to get rid of him when he comes out.
I know it might break the game, but I wish like IG-88 had like 2 units, so you can run 2 of them. Because he like split himself into 4 different versions of himself. But he is a bounty hunter as well and a droid. So you can like give him Sentinel Grievous or like do some bounty hunter shenanigans. Yeah. So I think he's really good. He seems pretty cool. I've always liked IG-88, so that comes from playing X-Wing.
I'll tell you what if we got other IG-88s in different colors?
That would be really cool. Yeah, that'd be really cool. An IG-88 for each color.
Honestly, like I would love to see this in a pulp red deck, right? Because you're constantly pinging your opponents, right? So you're always going to have an enemy unit that's damaged on your opponent's side, and this becomes a really powerful tool to add on to, several different versions of ships that are going to be available for pulp to deploy. So, yeah, it's definitely going to be a unit that we're going to see very often, I would say.
Yeah, if only it was in a color that has a lot of out of hand direct damage to units.
Yeah, right.
All right, the next one is Dagger Squadron Pilot. The artwork is insanely awful. It is a 1-cost yellow hero, 2/1 as a standalone, or a +2/+1 if you put him as a pilot upgrade. You may play this as a pilot for the cost of 1. So it's basically you can play him on the ground, play him in the air, wherever floats your boat. He's a rebel pilot, so I think he's pretty good. He works with the rebel synergy aspect to some extent. I've never seen a yellow Leia, so I don't think we'll ever have to worry too much about it. But like, I mean, he is a 1 cost +2/+1 upgrade, which is pretty good. And if you put enough upgrades out, they only got 3 confiscate cards. So just saying, just throwing that out there. You only got 3 confiscate cards, so. Anyway, let's move on to the next one. First
JJ
order
got the
stormtroopers.
really cool. Why is JJ getting all the really cool cards? Why are we letting him do that?
So we got the 1 cost first order stormtrooper coming in with a red and villainy aspect with 2 attack and 1 defense. It reads first order and trooper and reads on attack and when defeated deal 1 indirect damage to a player. Decent enough. I think it copies some of the droids that we saw in the last wave on there. Probably might see some play, but honestly, I think there are a lot better options at 1 cost right now for what this unit can do, namely the Death Star Stormtrooper. But I mean, it could have some uses, especially with some of those that leader. I can't remember off the top of my head that helps you direct where you want to direct the indirect damage to. Could be pretty good, as well as, of course, Thrawn taking full advantage of dealing 2 damage to indirect damage when this unit is defeated is very good.
I think this unit is really good for a 1 cost unit.
Yeah, you ping it, and I go, okay, you're still taking the damage.
At the very least. I mean, like, pings a lot right now, but it might not be later on. And I mean, the 2/1 isn't great, but it is a 1 drop, and when you swing in, you're doing 2 damage, and then 1 somewhere else, and then someone will kill it, and then you do another 1 somewhere else. I think it's solid enough for a 1 cost. I like it in Kylo.
I like that card a lot, actually. And my belief is if we got Holdo with something to do with resistance, we're gonna get a first order one too. That's my theory. Is there'll be a first order leader.
Hux.
Well, we didn't predict it, but Hux would be a good first. That would be a good first order leader. Yep. We could also see another Krennic, possibly.
Snoke.
We could. We had a Snoke in Destiny. We could have.
I mean,
Snoke.
it wasn't like that giant ship his.
Yeah. I hope we don't get a Snoke. Maybe we'll get a Snoke. All right, Alex.
Well, up next we have the Mandalorian. He's not blue this time. He is a 5 cost double yellow. He is a 5/6 1 unit and a +3/+1 when a pilot. When he's played as a unit, you can exhaust up to 2 ground units. Straight up, that's just what his ability does.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can also have him as a pilot for 2 and just 1 yellow aspect. So it's kind of like Hot Shot Blaster, where you're just like, well, it'll cost 1, kind of thing. And when played as an upgrade, and exhaust an enemy unit in this arena. He's also a bounty hunter.
Yeah,
Mandalorian, obviously, but he seems pretty good. I mean,
hey Han Yellow, did you want something else to play? Like,
yeah.
Here you
If
go.
you want to exhaust more things.
Yeah, like, oh my god.
+3/+1 stat line is pretty good for a piloting 2.
Yeah.
I think.
Yes. That's insane. You can put him on the Millennium Falcon if you want. It's now a 6/5. Oh my god. And you can play it in just straight yellow. You don't even have to play the stupid thing. He's not even a hero. You just play him in any color. So
right. So it's a really cool design space. Like, you don't really want to pay 7 for a 5/6 that exhausts 2 when played. But you'd probably put him in, the piloting aspect for it. So it's really cool. Like, if you don't have like vehicles, like, and you're not running a mono yellow, it's kind of rough. So I like that kind of like deck decision building stuff.
I am super high on this card personally. I think this is one of the best cards that they designed so far. Like this set, like this is just really, really good value for its cost. The next one is Leia Organa. What you gonna do about it? That's what she's saying. She
Really,
is.
I really like she caught a fish that big.
Yeah. Stop it.
Tanner's only going to see that every time he sees it, and now he can't play the cards. He's going to be like, this lady just fishes.
And Leia, they don't even have fish. She's from. Doesn't even have a
planet
anymore.
Fish things.
Yeah, but you don't fish for them. You don't want to fish them.
I don't know this. It's probably somewhere in the EU.
All right. So she's a 3-cost green hero. She's a 3/4. She's also an official. So she works with that senatorial card if you ever want to play it.
Petition the Senate, baby.
Yep. And she is a restore 1, which I actually really like too. And she's a when played, you may attack with a pilot unit or a unit with a pilot on it. And guess what? It gets +1 and it gets restore 1. And she's not even a legendary. Like this card is really good value too, actually. It's a little bit more niche though, but
it would be kind of interesting in something like a green Boba deck, right? Because the 1 restore does trigger his ability, so you can actually swing in with +2 and also a restore 1 with your pilot or pilot upgraded ship.
So it is a little bit more like constrained, but you can build a deck. Like we talked about building a Boba yellow like space deck. I built one. It didn't work very well, but we built one, and now we could probably really build one. And I don't know. I think she's really good, and like I'm not super excited about the artwork on this, but this is definitely like if I'm going to run Hero, I'm probably running Hero Green. I'm probably running this card.
I mean, also 3/4 for 3 with restore 1 is just a pretty solid stat line already.
Yeah. So. She's nuts. Like I don't know how she's not at least a rare, honestly. But all right, JJ, you get the IG 2000. We don't know which version of the IG 2000 you get, but you get one of them. You get the red version, I guess.
Yeah, so it's a 4-cost, which is great because it's initiative 4. Red and villainy aspect, IG 2000 Assassin's Aggressor title on there, which is great. Comes in with 3 attack, 4 health with Underworld vehicle and transport. Comes with Overwhelmed, and when played, deal 1 damage to each up to 3 units, which is great because you can spread that out immediately. And then if you have the IG 88 pilot to go right in there, you're immediately buffing this into a 6/4, which is like great. It's fantastic. So yeah, this is definitely going to see a lot of play. It's really, really good. Right off the bat, it's a cheap unit that can get buffed up really, really quick. And it's the fact that it has Overwhelm on top of that. If you manage to get some shields on this is going to be a very tanky ship to get through. So yeah, we're definitely going to see a lot of play for this particular vehicle, and especially with pilots. Yeah.
With Rio, it's a 7/9.
Oh man, that's so good.
With Overwhelm.
Oh my gosh, that's
and
so
Saboteur.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool. It's an awesome ship. I like it a lot.
Yeah, this ship's definitely gonna see play too.
Yeah, I could see this in boss stacks, right? You know, you put in some bounties ahead of time, and then you throw this out there, immediately does damage out there, and then you're doing a boss damage on top of that, collect the bounty. Yeah, like this has so many uses. It's really good.
All right, Alex.
Yeah, I get a ship that I fly a lot.
Yep,
it's the Houndstooth.
Yeah.
Not like the generic YV is the actual Houndstooth. It is a 3-cost yellow villainy. It is a 4/3. It has the Underworld vehicle and transport tags. While attacking an exhausted unit that didn't enter play this phase, much like Boba Fett, this unit deals combat damage before the defender. So it's an auto shoot first if they are already exhausted.
And it's a 3-cost.
So. Yeah, the 3 health is a little bit rough, especially for a ship that's just that massive. But you know, just throw some pilots in there, right? Like, I think it's kind of a house. I like it. A 4/3 stat line in space is very aggressive. Maybe that's why they limited it to the Spotlight deck. I don't know, because that'd be like a lot of chaos in Draft and Sealed.
Yes, that would be insane. Okay, so in the chat for the stream, and this was hilarious because this just brings so much X-wing stuff back, and like I get sentimental every time. Somebody asked if there's going to be a way to pilot a Nash the Pup on it, and that when it gets destroyed, if we can deploy it. And I was like, that if you guys don't have that, somebody errata everything and release that instantaneously.
It should be like when that unit's defeated, you could play the Dash to Pop out of your discard pile.
Or that's fine too. Like that's like great. Like I couldn't believe that, and I was like, "Damn it, FFG, you screwed this up, and you made that ship too. Like you put that damn ship in an X-wing for us. Like you should know
if they
this."
make like a Dash to Pop card, you could just be like, "Hey, when a friendly Houndstooth is destroyed, play this from the discard pile for free, right?" Or something, you know.
Yeah, I love
There's
it.
still hope.
I love it. All right, the next one is a Boba Fett. We got a new Boba, baby. And it's a 5-cost hero villain, 5/4. It comes in shielded, which I love so much, so much. Like you could play this card, you could just play this card that comes in shielded, or you can put it on a pilot for 2. You can pay 2 costs. You can put him right on that Houndstooth there. And when played as an upgrade, you may deal 1 damage to a unit. If attached unit is a transport, you may deal 2 damage instead. So you basically, it's built to play with that Houndstooth, and we're getting the party bus together, baby. That's what we're getting. I got my party bus going. I got to figure out how to get all of the pilots on the party bus. That's what I want. I think it's good for its cost. It's good. So,
are you excited for 5-cost 5/4 shielded Boba Fett? Then you throw on Boba Fett's armor, so now it's a 7/6 that ignores the first 2 damage. That's shielded.
Don't tell people that, but yes,
in your red Boba Fett deck.
Yep,
because you're playing that leader as well.
Yep, 100%. 100%. Me and Damien have already talked about that. So
gross.
Yep. Boba Fett's armor, baby. If you haven't bought them now, go out and buy all the hyperspace foils because they're gonna be worth a fortune after this set. All right, JJ, what's the next one?
All right, so we got the 1-cost electromagnetic pulse tactic card coming in as a single yellow aspect, and it reads deal 2 damage to a droid or vehicle unit and exhaust it. Definitely gonna see some play, right? That's easy way to just get quick damage onto a vehicle, possibly destroying it there for 1 cost. Probably worth the an inclusion for some decks that can take advantage of having damaged units out on the board, like that IG unit, for instance. You'll definitely see some play.
This card will 100% see play, especially in draft. Like if you're running yellow in draft, just take this card every time over everything else. Just do it.
That's why you need Rose to heal the 2 damage they did to it.
Oh my God. All right, stop it. Stop. We're gonna move on. Good God.
Now that the vehicle's dead.
All right, Alex.
Yeah, next up we got Commandeer. It is a 5-cost neutral yellow, and it's a trick just for Tanner. He loves those.
Yep.
And you take control of a non-leader vehicle unit that costs 6 or less without a pilot on it. If you do, ready it, and at the start of the next regroup phase, you return it to their hand. So, I mean, it's literally commandeering a vehicle. It's some Twi'lek.
That's not Hera, no.
But yeah, you're literally commandeering a vehicle.
Hera never once ever jumped on the back of a vehicle. JJ. Have you never watched Rebels? You're fired.
I haven't. I don't know these things.
I know that you don't, but JJ shouldn't ask a dumb question.
Wow. But yeah, it's interesting. Just stealing one of their ships and then bouncing it back to their hand is very strong. It sucks that it's keep in yellow where all of it is exhaust and bounce and stealing.
Yeah,
and I think that's really good.
And at the beginning of the next regroup phase, right? So you get to use this vehicle, and if you're Pelp, this is like a cheaper change of heart, except for it is only for a vehicle. But oh no, you want to play your Fett's fire spray early? I'll just take that. Thank you.
Yep.
I love this card. This card is like totes my goats, man.
Really solid sideboard card if people are going really vehicle heavy.
It's great fodder for Jabba, baby. Jabba loves this card. The next one is the Shuttle Tadirium. JJ, I don't remember the Tadirium. Is that like a specific shuttle for?
It's the one Han stole.
Yes, that is the one that that they took eventually to Endor in Return of the Jedi.
Okay.
That Wedge originally stole. Yeah.
Nah, I tried. Thought it was Han.
So yeah, it's a 3-cost yellow hero, 2/4 rebel vehicle transport. So it's another rebel again. On attack, discard a card from your deck. If it has an odd cost, you may give an experience token to another unit. I think that's pretty good. It won't work with Aphra, unfortunately, but I mean, well, I guess you know what it won't with Aphra. You're not going to pay for that, but it's whatever. It's a 2/4. It works very well in Han. That's what it's built for. So I like the fly casual tag for it too. So
Yeah, that's great.
all right, what's the next one, JJ?
So we got the 3-cost Red Squadron X-Wing in blue aspect of all things, coming in with 3 attack.
Red.
I know, right? Missed the ball there. So comes in with 3 attack, 4 health, raids Rebel vehicle and fighter. And when played, you may deal 2 damage to this unit, and if you do, you draw a card. Definitely something that's going to be add-in for every Rose deck, just so you have something to heal right off the bat, and draw a card on top of that, which is really good. So Rose deck with on the 35 health base. I mean, yeah, easy peasy.
I mean, it seems fine. Like if they don't have a lot of space, you don't do it. If they have a ton of space and like you don't particularly need the Red Squadron, you know, draw a card.
It's okay.
Yeah, it seems totally serviceable.
Average. All right, what's the next one? Somebody's dropping the hammer. I don't know who it is.
So, we got Paige Tico, Rose's sister, that showed up for like 2 minutes. She is a 2-cost blue hero. She is a 3/2, but she is also a pilot. She pilots for 2 as well. The attached unit gets on attack, give an experience token to this unit, then deal 1 damage to it. And as a upgrade, she gets +2/+2. I don't know. Like it's I guess it's cool that you get experience tokens or whatever. But it's anti-synergistic with like the Rose unit that wants them to have shields.
It is, but it does work with the Rose. It works with the Rose. This specifically works with the Rose leader, right? Because you do the damage and then you heal the stupid damage and blah blah blah.
It seems okay.
It's fine.
I mean, a 3/2 for 2 is like okay, anyways, right? So at worst, but she has a resistance, so
Yeah.
I mean, you can holdo, and that gets kind of beefy, right? You get a +2/+2 and then another experience.
Yeah, you're essentially giving it 3 extra attack every turn, and it could just cascade. So
yep,
yeah.
Next one is Captain Tarkin. He is a 3-cost singular Uno red. He is officially a Republic official. He's a 2/5, so he's got a big butt. Each friendly vehicle unit gets +1/+0 and gains overwhelm. I don't know, like that seems pretty good for what it is. Like, do you want to kill him? You now have to run ground units and kill him, and he avoids the make an opening. Like, he could die to force choke, right? But that's like, if you don't have a unit, like it's force choke or run a unit into him. So you're at minimum getting 1 off, and he comes in at 3 costs. So like Dodonna is at that 4/4, right? And then Dodonna sits there and it gives +1. This gives +1 attack to like everything. This will be great for anything that wants to run a very aggressive vehicle deck.
and he's an official.
So he works with
Which is
Pelp.
nice. Yep.
Ooh, can we have a red Pelp all vehicle deck? Oh man,
Yeah,
I'll
probably
be so
could.
excited to buy this.
Yes.
Also, because he's neutral red, if you have something like Wedge unit,
Yeah.
now they get +2/+1 with overwhelm and ambush.
Yep.
Which seems pretty wild.
Yeah.
I think he's really good. He is very, like, for what he's doing is very good. So
Yeah. Well, speaking of Palp, we got the 2-cost here Kijimi Patrollers here, which is a green and villainy aspect card coming in with 1 attack and 1 health. And it reads First Order, Vehicle, and Fighter. And it reads when played, create a TIE Fighter token, which to me makes 0 sense because TIE Fighters are Empire. They're not First Order. So, but hey, I mean, it's extra fodder for Palp. You can easily deploy these, use the TIE Fighter token to attack, and then ping it with Palp, deal damage to somebody on top of that, gain a card back. Lots of great uses for this particular card there, just to provide that extra fodder for Palp and help you build up your hand and help out Palp to deal damage out to units that you need to absolutely damage. So definitely will have that niche use for Palp. I'm sure there are other uses for this, for like exploit, for instance. I mean, you're essentially using this to bring out 2 bodies, and with an exploit 2, you're reducing the cost of another ship by 4. That is nothing to sneeze at. That's actually really good. You'll probably see this with some of those leaders as well. But yeah, definitely a decent card.
Yeah, seems pretty solid for Dooku.
Yeah, it's a great Dooku card.
Yeah, I mean, you're I was gonna say you're just essentially paying 2 to get 2 1/1 tokens, but you get the luxury of playing a unit for things like Poggle and not like here's an event.
Yep. Just so you know, I'm going to write in parentheses FO on every one of my cards for this one. I'm going to take a little marker and put it in there. Yeah, create a tie FO.
Half your tokens are FO ties, and the other half are normal ties.
Maybe I'll color them. I'll do the color shading for them. All right, let's keep moving. We got a direct hit.
I want to do direct hit. Yeah, I want to do direct hit. All right. So the reason I want this card here is because this is the first appearance outside of Star Wars Armada that we see the Onager Star Destroyer on a card. So this one is a 4-cost direct hit. It's a tactic card with blue aspect, and it reads defeat a non-leader vehicle unit. Absolutely great card to have, especially since we're getting such a big influx of these big cards on there. But big shout out again to FFG. That Onager artwork right there, even though it's getting blown up to hell, absolutely awesome. Love the artwork on this card. It is great.
This is what happens to my Onager I play it. So
yeah.
Well, since JJ got to pick one, I'm going to pick one. It's the Kolia Grand Turn. Just like an X-Wing, it's the K turn. It is a 3-crossed red tactic, and is ready a fighter or transport unit with 6 or less power, which is, I think, really good. And it's crazy to me that we have a literal K turn in SWU.
Yeah, I know, right?
If only it was, if you're defenders, play it for free.
Yeah, okay, so this maybe the defender will say that. Maybe
no.
This is a pretty crazy card, though, right?
Yeah, there's actually a fair amount of like fighters that are really good. It's like I was playing in a sealed draft league, right? And I got the card Bold Resistance, and I was playing it, and I looked down, and like all my spaceships were fighters, and I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Like Obi-Wan's Aether Sprite is a fighter. Those new Red Squadron Y-Wings, those are fighters. I guess like TIE Bombers are fighters too, but like you kind of want to maximize going up to 6 power, right? So there's actually like the Xanadu Blood is a fighter as well, right? So you can like double exhaust someone's resources, right? If you had the underground stuff. Just a bunch of really cool cards you could do with fighters.
Yeah. I like it. I think this card is bonkers. I actually think direct hit is pretty bonkers too. It's like a 4-cost Fell the Dragon without restrictions, except for vehicle.
Yeah, but like non-leader, right? So if they deploy their leader into the vehicle, it's the one that you want to destroy, but now you can't.
Fair enough, but I mean, I don't know. You put a damn Boba Fett on one of those things.
Well, yeah, but there's a whole bunch of other pilots, right? So it is definitely another really good card. I wish it wasn't in blue, so you can give a little bit of control to other colors instead of just like, cool, I have like 2 fells, I got 2 direct hits, 2 takedowns, and like rivals in the sideboard, right? What am I supposed to do now?
Yeah. The last one we're going to cover is the Rampart Enjoy the Exit. I don't know. Where the heck is the Rampart from, JJ?
It's from the one-shot comic. Tobias Beckett had stolen it from Memphis Nest.
Okay. Because I don't remember this one. It is a 2-cost villain yellow 3/3 underworld vehicle transport. This doesn't ready during the regroup phase unless its power is 4 or more. Which seems weirdly conditional. I don't know how
3/3/2.
Sure, but you can't ready it.
Hey, you just throw a pilot in it. I mean, like that's its intention, right?
It is. It's okay. I will just say it's okay at best. Like
snapshot reflexes, right there puts it because it +1/+1.
Sure, but I can't ready it till turn 4, and you've killed it by then. So
I mean, that's a 4/4 for 3, essentially on turn 2 in space. I don't think it's too bad.
It's okay at best.
I mean, you can. Oh, it doesn't ready. Okay, I was gonna say just give it snapshot reflexes, but at the same time, it's like it's not gonna be ready at that point. So yeah, that's kind of rough.
Yeah. So it's again, it's I understand the card design, and I don't think it's a bad card design. I'm just not super sold on it. It's going to take a little bit more strategic playing. It might be a good Thrawn deck thing. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the mercenary gunship probably is a better choice at that point, right? For the costs.
Yeah. It's a 3/2. It's auto ready. Not a 4/4. I don't. I think it's okay. Throwing something on it makes it very conditional, but you have to have that, throw it on there, and it means somebody can't kill it.
I mean, you can still do things like Grand Inquisitor ready it, right? It just says it doesn't ready during the regroup phase. Like, there's other ways of readying stuff.
Sure.
So, like, that's another option.
And that's fine. I guess I'd have to sit down and go through all the cards for it to see like what it could do. Like I'm personally I'm not sold on it. It is an underworld vehicle. It is nice. Like you could play it if you don't get something that you can upgrade it with. You can just McClunky the damn thing. There is that piece of it, and do that. Yeah. Oh, can we get a Greedo pilot to put on this, and then McClunky that with Greedo pilot? That'd be cool.
It's also a transport. So,
it is.
You know, it becomes like a 7/8 with Durant. It's kind of cute.
That would it become?
Because he gives them the +3/+5, and then it's +1 because it's a transport. So it's a 7/9.
Well, that is the end of our news and spoilers for the week. Thank you all so much for joining us for that segment.